For Wendy Macpherson, this fall swing has been nearly spectacular, missing just one thing, a title. Leanne Barrett is possibly bowling her best in over a decade, and a third title this year is what she covets. They're your top seeds tonight in the Columbia 300 Open. Next. The PWBA is in Lancaster, Ohio, where the Fairfield County Fair provides fun and entertainment this time of year. We welcome you inside Tiki lanes for the other main attraction, the finals of the Columbia 300 Open. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a year of dominance for the PWBA Tour with 15 of 17 victories split between just 4 ladies. In fact, no one other than the, quote, Big Four has won since the first week of June. But tonight, 4 ladies are looking for their first title of the season out of these finalists. In the number 1 position, leading the field by 374 pins, Wendy Macpherson. Qualifying second, making a career-high 5th consecutive telecast, Leanne Barrett. And ready for the opening match, qualifying third, rookie Kelly Kulick. In 4th, 15-time titleist Ann Duggan. And number 5, making back-to-back shows, Cheryl Daniels. And those 3 ladies shaking hands right now, getting ready for that first match. Once again, I'm Jan Schmidt, along with the biggest of the Big Four this season, Carolyn Doran-Ballard, with 6 of those 17 titles. Carolyn, welcome.
Thank you, Jan. Glad to be here. Somewhat.
Somewhat. It looks like Kelly Kulick will start the match. This lady is in her rookie season, believe it or not. Coming up a little bit high. And the reason I question rookie season, I mean, this is her 5th telecast this year. That's awfully good for a rookie.
She is doing what only a few rookies out here did do. Tammy Turner back in the early 90s. But she has a game that allows her to really play the lanes the way you need to. She's got a great game.
Ann Duggan, not a rookie by any means, a veteran with 15 titles. But it's been a long time for a title. At 1998, her last victory.
She's made some changes in her game, especially in the last couple of weeks. She's been feeling like she's been reading the lanes wrong. And she's made a few changes, and this week she bowled phenomenal, especially last night.
Talking there about Ann Duggan. Meanwhile, Kelly Kulick stepping up to shoot her 4-7. It's pretty straight if that's fair.
Changes balls to a ball that gets down the lane, plastic, won't hook, can shoot right at it.
Ann Marie, our number 4 qualifier, shooting at the 3-6. So 2 spares to start the match. They'll take that. And Cheryl Daniels, you saw her last week. She's back tonight, and it's been even a longer stretch for this lady since 1996 for a victory.
I hate to say it, but that's actually what we saw last week on the television show with Cheryl. So we'll just add that up to the first frame. Maybe things will change for her tonight.
Exactly. Kelly quickly up in the second frame. And exactly what we saw last week. A lot of the ladies going Brooklyn to start the match. They tried something different this week in warm-up, Carolyn. A little less time.
Little less time. They didn't bowl the 45 minutes on the TV pair. They've been bowling maybe 30, 35 minutes, and it does make a difference. Also, the lights, it got a lot hotter in here than it has been during the week.
Well, Ann Marie came back with a big strike in the second frame, and Kelly Kulick will shoot at a 6-pin. She defeated Ann Marie during the week. High scores. Some matches were lost with huge scores this week. Sigh of relief, and we saw Cheryl go Brooklyn that first match. Now, Carolyn, you specifically asked her last night, you know, what would she do differently? How did she feel coming off that performance?
She said it really didn't bother her. She just figured she should have moved a lot further left and really tried to just hook the lane, and she didn't. And on that one, that was a perfect shot. She moved a little bit further left.
The home of the PWBA, Cherry Bowl in Rockford, Illinois hosts the next stop of the Fall Swing, the Hammer Players Championship, Saturday, October 20th through Wednesday, the 24th. Then it's on to Sun Lanes in Las Cruces, New Mexico for the Las Cruces, New Mexico Open, Sunday, October 28th through Thursday, November 1st. Suncoast Bowling Center hosts the Brunswick Women's World Open in the Brunswick Shootout next. The action heats up in Las Vegas Sunday, November 11th through November 4th through Saturday, November 10th. Be sure to stop in and visit PWBA as we head to your town. Kelly Kulick trailing by 21 pins. Cheryl Daniels in the lead by 10.
She made a move on that shot. Cheryl struck. She moved a little bit further left. Kelly told me before they started she has this left lane hooking a lot more for her. She got that ball a lot further right down the lane. Good shot, leaves the 10 pin. The key here this week for the people that made this telecast was to get that ball right, but it had to be down the lane, not early in the heads. It had to be way down the lane.
Nice shot by Anne Marie, which is why, and we'll get to that a little later, but why Leanne Barrett could be so successful, because she's very good at getting it.
Absolutely, her
right
projection.
Down.
She's the best at having her projection down the lane.
Kelly Kulick covering up a spare. So far, everybody clean, so that's a good start to this week. The scores different this week. Some were very low, some immensely high. A pair to pair was so different.
It was like 3 different centers: the low end, the middle of the house, and then you had the high end.
It's that one way right, so Cheryl Daniels is out in front here at Tiki Lanes, but we've only just begun, so stay with us. There's a look at your score while we were away. A lot of transition in the lanes. Cheryl Daniels crossing over in the 4th, leaving a 5-pin. Anne Marie Duggan missing the head pin in the 5th, a bucket in the 7th. Kelly Kulick going high in the 5th, and Cheryl Daniels going high, missing the 3-6-10 in the 7th frame. So Cheryl Daniels leads by just 2 pins right now as Kelly Kulick steps up in the 8th and comes back with a big strike.
Well, this is the reason why many of us are out on tour. We love the competition. And the one great thing about our sport, look at the ages. You can do this sport here on tour well into your 40s. 33 for Wendy, 39 for Anne Marie. Belated happy birthday to her. That was a couple weeks ago. And look at how many years. Cheryl Daniels, 41 years old, 21 years on tour.
Well, we talk about the years out here, but we have one rookie out here, and she came through the collegiate ranks. She talked about what that experience was like.
College bowling was a great experience for me. It definitely opened a lot of doors for me, enabling me to compete in Team USA and come out here to compete on the tour. But most importantly, I got a great education at Morehead State University, and that's what I was there for, to get my education and to pursue my lifelong...
Almost making that spare the hard way.
But Kelly Kulick sounds like she's one of those ladies who you'll see on that list about 20 years from now, being out on tour for a long time. You can see she was a Team USA member. She was, I believe, a member for 3 years and did a lot of the amateur bowling, and a mental mistake there, missing all 3 pins. She was on a strike, so that will cost her a lot of pin count. Anne Marie Duggan, 94 Player of the Year. This match, yeah, it's just turned around here.
It really has. It's been flip-flopping about 3 or 4 times now. This is what makes it exciting, though. Every first game, we always go down to the 9th and 10th frame. Cheryl looks on her last few shots. She is not getting out of the ball as clean as she had been in the beginning of the match. And on this sport condition, the cleaner you can release the ball, the better your ball reads the lane.
It's an important tip. Kelly Kulick in the 10th. The best she can shoot is 192.
And Kelly is a great example of that. She's smooth, she's fluid through her shot, and it reads the lane very good. It gives it a good reaction. It gives it, you know, it's readable. You can tell when you throw a bad shot. You can tell when you throw a good shot.
Anne Marie Duggan is stepping up in the 10th. She's working on 2 strikes. And the way this looks, she just needs a good pin count, maybe about 6 pins, I believe, on her first ball to shut out both Kelly Kulick and Cheryl Daniels. Come on. Yes. And that's good enough. So Ann-Marie Duggan will move on, but first when we come back, Carolyn and I will talk about our top 2 qualifiers. Final score of match 1, Ann-Marie Duggan 222 to Kulick's 192 and Daniel's 181. Welcome back to the Columbia 300 Open at Tiki Lanes in Lancaster, Ohio. Caroline, how about that first 3-person shootout? Ann-Marie Duggan was really struggling early and came on strong at the end.
She made a few adjustments. She moved her feet and her eyes left, made some quality shots, and it paid off for her.
Well, she'll have to now face Leanne Barrett, our number 2 seed, and watching Leanne bowl last night was just inspiring.
There are not many bowlers that can say they can drill a ball, shoot 373 over for 8 games, which included this 300. But Leanne Barrett can. She has made 5 consecutive shows. She feels like she missed an opportunity last week, and tonight she is back to redeem herself.
Well, if she makes it to the championship match, she will have to face our top seed, Wendy Macpherson. She's been a model of consistency this week.
Consistency is the word that best describes this lady. 4 of the last 5 years, she's been Bowler of the Year and in the top 3 in all categories. Wendy likes Tiki Lanes. Last year, she finished 2nd, became the PWBA's 2nd millionaire. She has a little added incentive this week, though. This is a Columbia tournament, and Wendy is a Columbia staff member.
Well, always good to win your staff's event, and Wendy will have to sit in the wings right now and wait for the championship match. Right now, we're ready for the semifinal match. It'll be Ann-Marie Duggan and Leanne Barrett. Well, I think Ann-Marie Duggan took on a little revenge at Kelly Kulick. Kelly Kulick earlier today won that frog flipping contest over at Fairfield County Fair. Coming right at you. Oh, just missed. A lot of fun today over at the fair, and we're ready for the semifinal match. Leanne Barrett, 34 years old, and as Carolyn just told you, her 5th consecutive show.
And as I can see, she's using that ball where she shot 300 last night, so let's see what happens. Ooh, 1 down, 11 to go.
Okay, well, let's call it right now. $50,000 is on the table from Travelodge Hotels if anyone shoots a 300 on the show tonight. Ann-Marie Duggan, you see that final score, 222, and Ann-Marie had a clean game, and that's what it took, really. Strike for Ann-Marie Duggan. A lot of other players bowling well this week. Marsha Kamrowski just missing her first telecast. Lisa Bishop actually had the 4th highest average, but a bad match play record. And, well, Carolyn, you won here in 1999.
Yes, 11th, Kendra Gaines made a run for the show last night, and Liz Johnson had that 300 game a couple weeks ago.
And she took home that $50,000 bonus from Travelodge. Both ladies starting with a strike. Ann-Marie Duggan now in the 2nd frame.
Missed a little left on that shot, left the 310, and that's what happens. Just like even Cheryl said in the last match, the moves on this surface, it's 22 feet of Guardian, which is like a plastic overlay over the wood lane. And what happens is the front part of the lane, which is the part right over the foul line, starts to hook. And the only move is to move left.
Nice
Great
spare. So that's 22 feet from the foul line toward the pins of the Guardian.
Foul line, down the lane, 22 feet.
And that's to protect some of the wood surfaces as they start to burn up or wear out. Or
Yes, it's usually put on an old lane that's been worn.
So Leanne in the 2nd, and there's some artwork.
That's not something you usually see every day. Looked like a good projection off her hand. Just hooks right at the end, right through the nose. Now the funny thing is, Leanne did say she is still having problems with her single pins, but she made all her splits this week.
Well, there you go. So she might shoot this one. You can see where she moved from 14th to 2nd last night in that round in.
Good try, good try.
But she might have it. There was that 300 in there in games 4, 5, and 6 last night. She had 258, 268, and 300 for an 826. And because it's in a 3-game segment, it counts for a sanctioned 826 series.
She was on fire from game 1 last night. I bowled next to her, and every time I looked up, she had 6 in a row, 7 in a row.
What's interesting, though, as much as she shot over 373 pins, the record is held by Ann Duggan, her opponent, 497 over for 8 games. That's a 262 average.
That's unbelievable, but I'm not surprised Ann-Marie did it. She also owns 14 800 series, so what's that telling you about Ann-Marie? When she strikes a lot.
She steps up hoping to strike again. She also has the WIBC record for the most 800s in a season, 3. So this lady is definitely no stranger to the big numbers.
Ooh.
Not what she wanted to see right now.
No, 2, 4, 8, 10. Little hard to pick up. Usually leave the back pin. Seems like she didn't quite catch that one as much. Kind of let it go and just didn't quite come around it the way she has been.
Now this is sometimes picked up. Can get a break because of the back pin, some deflection.
Giving it a shot.
Now that's 2 in a row that were very close. Another one of the big 4 we've talked about is Cara Honeychurch. She has 4 titles this year in 16th and 17th. We've talked a lot about the U.S. Open. There's our defending U.S. Open champion, Tennille Grijalva.
In 23rd, Carol Giannotti Block, the defending champion of this tournament from last year, and Karen Bulby, the local pro here, making the finals.
Also noted in there, she was the champ here at Tiki Lanes in 1998. Ann Duggan, oh my.
Wow. Now, Kelly did say in the first match that the left lane had a tendency to start hooking more, and was, even at the end of the match. Did not look like, got it in a little bit, but wow, did that ball really pick up in the middle part of the lane.
19 years on tour, 15 titles. Plenty of experience. She'll figure out an adjustment here.
Oh, bad break on that spare. Ball just hooked right into and left the back pin.
Talked a little bit about the 300, the 812 or 826 series Leanne shot. Huge scores. Here's her entire round last night.
What a fantastic match play record.
She lost with a 268 game, and in fact, in the 300 game, she needed the first strike in the 10th to beat Lisa Bishop, who shot 287 after that game.
Where were those good pairs last night?
You missed them.
My goodness.
That's why you're here.
Drastic shot there by Leanne, leaving the 210. Made the adjustment off the last shot on this lane where she went high. Now goes light, 210. Here we go with the transition again. One of the keys that everybody says, you've got to make the adjustments quick and hope the adjustments you make are correct. Or it can be drastic, especially with power players, because really, to stay in the pocket, it's a little harder for them because of their area. Gave it a shot.
They are sure close on all of these splits. So it's a very close match now. Leanne Barrett in the lead by just 1 pin after several open frames and a
We'll look for Leanne to figure something out, because she always says even though if she's bowling bad, she will still try to figure something out to end on a positive note and take her on to the next week. So this match is far from over.
There's the 2 wins that she had so far, and they were our 2 sponsored events this year. This another sponsored event, could that be an omen? Right now, it's not looking real good. Going up high, 4-7.
Now she struck the last 2 shots on lane 11. Now she went a little bit high. I think lane 11 is definitely breaking down. We'll have to see what the move will be, especially for Ann-Marie on her next shot on that lane.
So Leanne now stepping up. It's not a single pin spare, but it is the left side where she had some difficulty, but mostly on single pin spares this week. She spares it up, so we'll continue with the Columbia 300 Open in a moment, but right now, Ann-Marie Duggan leads by 9. The 2001 Women's U.S. Open Bowling Championship, presented by Riverside Resort, will also be hosted by Don Laughlin's Riverside Resort Hotel and Casino in Laughlin, Nevada. The event will begin with pro-ams Friday, November 30th and December 1st. Competition closes with a live ESPN broadcast on Sunday, December 9th at 2:30 p.m. Eastern. That's immediately following the Men's U.S. Open. The women will be shooting for an unprecedented minimum purse of $300,000. Anne-Marie shooting there in the 8th frame, leaving the split.
I'm going to double check, but I believe Anne-Marie changed balls on that lane. That lane has just started to hook tremendously. She thought she made a good shot, changed balls, thought she'd made the right adjustment. She paid for it.
Takes 2 pins there, and a lot of struggle's been going on while we were away here. A couple of splits, and
Leanne has yet to mark on lane 12. She went high on in the 2nd frame and then light. So we'll have to see what adjustments she makes. It seems as if they're just moving deeper. Right now, both Anne-Marie and Leanne are looking just for a ball reaction, a consistent ball reaction. Good shot by Leanne. She got the ball a little bit further out onto the lane, and it went a little bit further to the right down the lane. She keeps blowing on her hands. Her hands might be a little cold, and she might not really have a good feel. Leanne is a feel player, and I see her blowing on her hands a little bit. She might be a little cold, trying to just develop her feel yet.
there's a scoreboard I was talking about. Leanne Barrett with a ugly split in the 6th frame. Anne-Marie Duggan with that split you just saw in the 8th frame. So a lot of transition going on. The players really not lined up. Leanne averaged 219 during the week on this pair, but obviously nowhere near that tonight. And I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted to see the best way to pick up some of the weirdest spares you've ever seen, this would be it. And while they haven't been picked up, they've been very close on every one. So approach it that way.
And honestly, I can't say it was really a bad shot off their hand. Really, they both look like they're getting out of the ball clean, making quality shots. This is what happens to the transition in the lanes. Also, with the guardian surface, which we talked about, the heads of the lanes have a tendency to go, which causes a lot of different reaction down the lane.
And especially under the television lights.
Absolutely. There's so many, factors. Oh, great shot at it. Gosh.
You know, she can't get much closer than every one of these splits she shot at.
Right in between. Thought she had them all. Wraps right around the 10 pin. I think Leanne thought she had it.
So Anne-Marie now in the 9th frame, and wow, there's not much to say to this. They're really struggling out there. You can feel for them. I mean, those of you at home know how it is in league when you're struggling. Put yourself on national television and try it.
Absolutely, and the ball she did change to on the left lane, she threw it on the right lane. 3-6-10. Now, one thing I do notice about Anne-Marie, you'll notice her hand in front of the ball. This is one of the things she worked on to try not to have her push so far out in front of her.
Anne-Marie Duggan, a former U.S. Open champion. And we talked a little bit there about the U.S. Open. We were unable to give you the rest of the details. So for tournament entry info, you want to contact the PWBA, and that's at 815-332-5756, or visit pwba.com. Now, if you want to enter that Pro-Am, contact Riverside at 800-227-3849, or you can always visit them at riversideresort.com. So come on out to that U.S. Open. We have 3 former U.S. Open champions on the show tonight, and as I mentioned, Anne-Marie being one of them. She won back in 1991. Cheryl Daniels had won it in 95, and Wendy Macpherson, as a little kid,
18 years old.
Yeah, won in 1986. I don't even know if she was walking yet when she won.
You can also visit Anne-Marie Duggan at bowlingballmall.com. Her and her husband, Pat Duggan, for all your bowling needs. You can also go and email Anne-Marie and just say hello.
She definitely wants you to visit her. So Duggan now up by 11. She's stepping up in the 10th frame.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
And I think we can tell by Anne Marie's reaction exactly how both of these ladies feel. That one, she finally projected it to the right, and the ball never picked up a roll to get to the head pin.
Well, she will need this spare really to force Leanne Barrett. She gets the spare. Anne Marie can shoot a 153. She would force Leanne Barrett to double in the 10th. Big shot. Oh. Takes two, so she finishes up with an unbelievable 141. So Leanne Barrett will need a mark and, of course, some decent pin count, which, as we've seen today, isn't a guarantee.
I'll tell you, and on this, right now, at what we're looking at, pin count could be a little tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is what happens during the week. Like we talked about earlier, the good scores in the middle part of the house were all last night. And then you went to some pairs, 130 to 150. It just is the transition throughout the night and here on the show.
Needs a mark.
That's the best mark you can get.
That's a good one because now she gets 2 balls to get the pin count she needs, which actually will be 6 pins on 2 balls here in the 10th frame. Now, you can say it's low scoring, but I have to tell you, anytime a match is this close, it's a good match.
And she did make the adjustment in the 8th frame. Seems like she moved a little left with her feet, got the ball down the lane and to the right a little bit further. Another good shot in the 10th. She wins the match.
6 pins on this ball. Prior to that adjustment she made, she had 4, 8, and 6 for her 3 counts on this lane. But 7 will be enough, so Leanne Barrett will get a spot in the final match. When we return, we'll tell you how WIBC is assisting veterans. Plus, we'll recap the road to the title match. Match 2 was ugly, but it was a survival match, and Leanne Barrett survived 145 to 141. Coming up next, Leanne Barrett goes head-to-head against top seed Wendy Macpherson. PWBA flashback takes us back a year ago here at Tiki Lanes. Wendy Macpherson needed a strike and 8 to win. This after she just broke the $1 million record, and she doesn't get 8. So Carol Giannotti Block took the title 211 to 198. 1 year later, Wendy Macpherson will have a chance at the trophy yet again this year against Leanne Barrett. Leanne Barrett will be first up. It's a beautiful trophy. I personally know that they carried that in a backpack here on the airplane.
Oh my. I talked to Leanne after that first match, and she said this left lane has a very early hook spot, and she's trying to go around it to avoid that spot.
So by a go around it,
she's moved everything a little bit left and trying to get the ball to the right of the hook spot and down the lane. Well, unfortunately, she did take over, one of the records that was set actually by Wendy in 1988. She now has the lowest scoring TV match, 145 to 141. It happens. And here she is going for the championship. So you know what? There's always a positive out of it.
That's right. She won it. It worked.
It was ironic, though. Wendy was first over here to remind us that now it is the lowest scoring match because she was the one that held the record.
She wants her name off of those record books. It's actually the 2-person score for the lowest match. So Wendy quickly up here. Wendy had a few shots on this pair. So did she try anything different?
When speaking to Wendy in practice, first thing is Wendy is going to try to play a little bit further right and a little more direct in the heads, which is the front part of the lane, than Leanne will. This is where she feels she gets her best carry because she said once she has to get too far left, she doesn't have enough hand in it to get the ball to hook. She said if that doesn't work, she's just going to try to throw it harder. Good shot in the first frame, bad break, 4-9.
And that won't She won't pick it up that way, so an 8 count to start the match for Wendy Macpherson.
Leanne does have the high TV pair average at 219 between the both of them.
But obviously not similar for her tonight.
No, not similar, I don't think, for anybody so far. Wendy had a great week. She never dropped lower than second. That was only in 1 round. She just said, I had great reaction every day. Good shot by Wendy. As you can see, she's a lot further right and a lot more direct up the lane.
Right.
Which, like I said before, the more direct you can go during the transition, there is less room for error. So hopefully, you know, that might be a key that both of them have to stay with.
Leanne Barrett currently 3rd in points for the year, 3rd in earnings, and 5th in average, so doing very well this year. And if you're an amateur bowler sitting at home wanting to come out and compete, we've changed our rules and you must meet average requirements, but you can bowl on the national tour. You can cash a maximum of 3 times per year, and our regional members can bowl unlimited times. You have to participate in that orientation meeting. So if you'd like more information, call 815-332-5756. Do you think that low score will encourage some amateurs to come out?
Absolutely. Hey, anybody on this can try, because it's no more, you know, 250, 260 every game. Gives everybody a chance.
She got way around it that time.
Way around, and as soon as she let that ball go, she stood up a little bit at the line. I don't think she liked it. I don't know if it was just, it didn't seem as if she quite caught that one. She got out of it real early and it just sailed down the lane. Just goes to the right and just keeps going. Washout. This one is very sparable, though. Of all the ones she's left, this one probably is one of the easiest.
Well, as we mentioned, she's been close on every one until that time. Taking 3 pins. These scores not indicative of the scores this year. There's a look at our average leaders. Wendy Macpherson 3rd. Carolyn, you're on top. Leanne Barrett coming in 5th. Those averages compiled by the Ebonite Tournament Coordinator. That's the official software for the PWBA. Wendy Macpherson now leading by 20, and Wendy had a string in match play where she shot 23 out of 24 200 games.
Yeah, that's impressive, especially going from pair to pair, having to make adjustments. And that's why she's the top seed. Look at the ball reaction she has. I mean, first 3 frames, great shots, 1 bad break, but now she's on a double.
Well, she actually had the first 22 games of match play, I believe, with 200s, and then she missed it in the 23rd game, and then another one in the 24th game. The record is 24 match play appearances, or 24 200s in match play. As I glanced up at that graphic, Patty Costello in 81, Macpherson in 92, and Debbie McMullen in 1993. So Wendy had a share of that record, and it still stands up.
Another good shot by Wendy. You know, the last few times Wendy's been on TV, she hasn't really liked her ball reaction. Last week, she needed to double to win the title. She went a little bit high, left the 9 pin. I think she seems a little more determined this evening.
5th in a row, but 9th for the season. Television appearance for Leanne Barrett.
This year is like the old Leanne of the 90-91 Player of the Year season. I think she's figured something out. She looks very strong out there this year.
Well, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, it's been since 91, a decade, since she won 3 titles in a season. And she's going for that right now tonight. Her 2001-2000 average, very similar, so she has not been affected very much by the sport condition.
No, not at all.
Leanne Barrett now trailing by 20. Stepping up in the 5th, she's working on a strike. No one, though, will get that bonus, that $350,000 bonus for a 300 game. Coming up high.
Right at the end, it looked like good projection off her hand. Then right at the very end, it just went right through the nose. Lane just could it could be hooking a little bit more again. She may have to make a little bit of a different move on this lane now.
So a single pin spare, but the right side of the lane, so that should be safe.
She said during the week, actually, she's not throwing her spare ball at this spare, but she said she re-slugged her spare ball to try to give her a little bit of a different feel and maybe help her out with her spare shooting.
So Wendy Macpherson has a 40-pin edge right now, but we'll be back with the final frames to determine the champ. While we were away, disaster for Leanne Barrett. Another open frame in the 6th, a split. But Wendy Macpherson is lined up, and she wants this tournament. 5 strikes in a row for Wendy. Leanne Barrett just trying to hang on as she trails by 64 pins.
Well, what you're seeing is what I stated in the first game. As the transition goes on this sport condition, the straighter you can go through the heads at the front part of the lane, the more trouble you can usually stay out of. And as you can see, everybody who's really trying to go around them is getting into trouble down the lane, where Wendy is basically just going up the lane. She got that one on lane 12 the last time, a little bit in. She stood at the foul line, and it held.
Wendy now working on 5 in a row in the 7th. Make it 6 in a row, and we talked last week about the fact that you have to go back to a stretch from 93 to 95 when Wendy went this long without a title. She has to be so hungry for this victory.
It's just amazing to put Wendy Macpherson's name in a sentence that says no titles. It really is inconceivable right now, and she was determined this week. She led by over 300 pins. That's not luck. That is, at times, it's just your week. She's using a Columbia game ball. It's a medium particle ball. Rolls nice and even throughout the lane. She's got great reaction with it.
She certainly does. That one held pocket nicely for 7 in a row for Wendy Macpherson. Unfortunately, that first open frame takes away your chances for 300. But this goes to show you how much the angle you play or the equipment you use could make a difference in the scoring ability for you on the lane.
Absolutely. I really do think I've seen, especially on the last few telecasts, the angle through the front part of that lane is so important.
Leanne Barrett now finding something with a double. Just trying to come out, as you said, trying to find something to say, okay, if this happens again, now I know what I could have done.
Leanne now she's probably the most confident she's been in probably the last couple of years. She likes the equipment she's using. She's comfortable with it. She's comfortable with the way she's been able to play the lanes. And plain and simply, Leanne's throwing the ball very well. This is not the last we'll see of Leanne.
Despite a hip injury, she was heading to the chiropractor today to get that taken care of. She looked strong tonight, just not able to line up. Now she is, but no carry. And she didn't really have to shoot any of those left side single pin spares that she missed 5 of during match play, which is an unusual number for a professional in 24 games.
Probably eased her nerves a little bit to know that too.
Well, Wendy Macpherson is taking control of Tiki Lane. She broke that $1 million mark last year here, and
I think personally Wendy just didn't want everybody to say, how could you not win a title this year after doing what she's done in the past 10 years?
And not only this year, it's been since the summer of last year, Danville, Virginia, so it's been over a year since she's won an event.
She sure is making it look easy, isn't she?
She is. I'm seeing that ball go down, I'm thinking Lisa Wagner rocket to the pocket. I mean, she's just driving the pocket.
But this is why Wendy led by over 300. She basically was able to play the lanes a little bit further right than everybody else.
Well, Carolyn, you asked Wendy if this would be her first title in 2001.
Absolutely, yes, Carolyn. This is a Columbia tournament. I'm on Columbia staff. I find no other reason other than to win this thing. And, Tiki Lanes has just been wonderful to me. Great vibes, and I hope tonight's the night.
Well, tonight is the night, and she called that. No, that wasn't 2 minutes ago. That was prior to the telecast. You certainly knew the right question to ask on that one.
All of a sudden now she needed a little incentive. Come on. Great game by Wendy. And you know one thing too? She came out aggressive from frame 1.
Barron, you know what, Wendy attributes her success, this swing, the good swing she's having, to her work with Sam Baca. She said, oh, you know, over that break she worked with him. He's been her long-time coach, and it just refreshed her. He just pointed out a few things, and it really helps if you have somebody you can count on that much.
The key was, we spoke about it last week, getting the ball into the lane a little smoother, not hitting up on it. It reads the lane better, and there you have it.
You have a 257 game is what you have, and so it won't be the one of the big four, as I call them. Leanne Barrett with 2 titles already this year. She won't get title number 3 yet, but hey, I would imagine she'd be on her 6th show in a row next week.
And that ties another record.
If she gets it.
Absolutely.
You would know. You're a part holder of that record.
Twice, I might add.
Yeah, you just never want to break it. So another split for Leanne Barrett, and not the performance she wanted, but hey, it's 5 shows in a row, and we'll look to see her next week. So Wendy Macpherson does take her first title of the year and first title in over a year here at the Columbia 300 Open. We're not finished yet, so don't go away. There's the champion of the Columbia 300 Open, Wendy Macpherson. Final score 257 to 169. And in with a beautiful trophy, hand carried all the way from Texas, is Connie Smoot, Vice President of International Sales for Columbia.
Wendy, you had the most courageous and skillful week I've ever seen. You took control of the first squad. You never let go. And as the representative of Columbia family of bowling, I'm so proud to give you this trophy.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you.
Okay, and I know you're waiting for some money to come on in. Greg Russell, the general manager here at Tiki Lanes.
Well, Wendy, on behalf of everyone here at Tiki Lanes and the PWBA, I am so proud to present you this check for $11,000. Congratulations, Wendy. Also, on behalf of Duncan's Diamonds, I'd like to present you with this diamond necklace.
Oh, beautiful.
Congratulations. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know where to begin. This is a great evening. First off, I must thank my boss, not only my boss, but a great lady, Connie Smoot, who is just terrific, along with Columbia, in sponsoring this event, and also being my boss. And I'm very, very proud to finally have won a Columbia tournament bowling for Columbia. Thank you, Connie, very much.